mute you all. So if there is any issue or if there is any problem, please raise your hand in between regarding the class or put a message in the chat box. I'll respond. Otherwise, if there is any login issues or if you are accidentally logged out because of any problem, either because of data or because of network, then just inform Prasad sir immediately that you've been logged out because of so and so problem and all those things, right? So, shall we start the session? Hello. Hello, shall we start the session?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay, okay. So I'm going to start here and also I'm going to mute you all.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, right. So yesterday we discussed about the propagation of the signals and also the things that how you are going to propagating these signals and also how we have to bother about that particular frequencies and accessing of the signals and all those things, right? Propagation of the signals and introduction of the modulation, that is need of the modulation, how those signal frequencies and the signal strengths are going to be varying according to the area that they are going to cover and the antennas that they are going to reach, a height that they are going to vary on based on all those things, that is the antenna, the areas through which they will pass on and all those things, how the signal is going to be varying before it reaches the target. So we discussed about what is the need of the modulation. So avoiding the refraction, reflection and also the scattering of the signal, avoiding refraction, scattering and reflection of the signal, we can retain the strength of the signal until it reaches the target with original form with which it is being sent by the source or the sender, right? So there we concluded that we need the modulation of the signal in between while it is passing through the larger distances between the source and the destination, and also passing through various areas and various heights also. So what we've been decided or what we've been defined the modulation as thing. See, the modulation here we have been defined as the processing of varying a particular signal called as carrier signal according to the parameters of our original data signal or the modulating signal or a message signal, what we say, right? So you are going to varying a particular signal called as carrier signal according to the pattern or according to the parameters variation that are being given by our modulating signal or the message signal and whatever it is, right? So that particular thing is called as modulation. So what is this carrier signal? Why we have to modify that particular carrier signal in the process of modulation in order to retain the strength of our signal and the parameters of the signal in original form before it reaches the target. What is the carrier signal? Why we have to vary the signal according to the parameters of our modulating signal or the sending signal or the message signal, whatever it is that you are sending to the receiver. Why it has to? What it is going to be changing in its form according to the form of our modulating signal. It's nothing but an analog signal. It has been chosen in such a way that it is going to be superimposed by our data signal or the transmitting signal or the modulating signal. The signal which we want to modulate, the signal which we want to modulate is called as modulating signal. That is, modulation is nothing but enhancement. Enhancement from the lower level to the higher level. We are increasing its level, increasing its parameters to retain its original form, to retain its original form. That is nothing but the modulation here. So for doing that modulation, what we are preferring to do is we are choosing an analog signal called as carrier signal on which our modulating signal is going to be superimposed. According to the characteristics of our superimposed signal, the carrier is going to be changing itself. That particular carrier is going to be guiding our signal to transmit the signal from source to the destination, passing through all the obstacles, all the areas, and all the varying heights. See, in the guided media transmission, we are having a wire, or you are having a direct connectivity between one to one point or two communication points. So there is a wire which is going to guiding our signal to reach the destination from the source. So we are having the advantage of our guided transmission media that our signal will not be get interfered by any external disturbances or external source. That is the advantage of the guided transmission media. Whereas coming to the unguided transmission media, our signals, which are in the form of electrical, will be converted to the electromagnetic form. They will be get radiated by the antenna into the air. So while transmitting through the air, how the signals will be get directed, how they will be get oriented, how they will be get transmitted to the specific direction or the specific point of communication or a specific user itself or the receiver itself. How it knows that the particular receiver is the destined receiver to whom it has to go through or to whom it has to get received or it has to get dumped with, into which mobile or which communication point it has to get in. It will be get guided by our corresponding modulating signal. It will be set with certain parameters. It will be having certain modulation, nothing but the value of the maximum value of the signal, frequency, the acceleration of the signal, and the phase angle, how it is going to be varying over the different directions. All these things will be defined in a signal. So according to the parameters given in a signal, it will be traveling through the air. But while traveling through the air, it will be facing with certain obstacles like mountains will be there, trees will be there, higher and lower heights storied buildings will be there. There will be hollow spaces, there will be heights places, that is the what is called as you are being calling as spaces with the highest height. All these are to be get passed with our signal. So while passing through all these areas, it is going to be get bombarded with those areas, or it will have thrust over those areas. While thrusting over those areas, it is going to losing its energy levels, varying in the height, varying over the larger distances, or passing through the surfaces. All these things, it is going to losing its energy. So without losing that energy, following the line of sight propagation properties, avoiding the refraction, reflection, and scattering problems, how the signal will be transmitted to the destination without any deviation in its original form. We can do it by the modulation procedure. What we are doing is, we are guiding our signal through an analog signal called as carrier signal. That particular carrier signal will be get transmitted or propagated in the air as usual as our modulating signal. How our modulating signal will be traveling through the air, in the similar way, the carrier signal will also travel through the air. How it will be pertaining its characteristics according to our signal. How that particular carrier signal will be behaving as our modulating signal or the message signal. Why? Because our message signal is going to be superimposed on the carrier signal. If the frequency oriented signal, or if the frequency is being changing, according to the frequency changes, the carrier signal will be changing. If the amplitude is changing, then the carrier signal is going to be changing its amplitude. Or if the phase of our modulating signal is changing, then the carrier is going to be changing its phase angle. Okay, right. According to our parameters of the modulating signal, the carrier signal is going to be changing its characteristics. Okay, so we do identify that a signal is going to be having the three parameters, or it is going to be defined by three characteristics or three properties. What are those? Amplitude, frequency, and phase angle. Amplitude, frequency, and phase angle. Both the carrier signal and the modulating signal will have these. Whereas, according to our modulating signal, these three parameters will be get imposed on the carrier signal also. Right? So in that way, we are doing the modulation procedure. I will illustrate how these modulation procedure will be happen. I will illustrate you. I will draw you how the superimposition will be done. Right? Don't bother about that. I will give you the clear picture of how the modulation will be done so that the signal will be or reaching the destination without any deviations in signal strength, right? And coming to this, how this particular signal will be represented in a mathematical form. An equation has been given for a signal here. An equation has been given for a signal here at a time instant t. Signal is been represented with S and its properties are being defined in a single characteristic equation at a single interval of time. Why? Because according to the time, the signal or a wave is going to be changing its properties, changing its values. It may hold a particular value at a particular amplitude or a particular interval of time. Is going to be varying in another interval of time. So here a signal is being defined with its characteristics at a particular interval of time given as a convention of S of t. Signal at interval of t. Signal at interval of t. So how it has been defined? It is been defined with its S naught into sine of 2 pi into c by lambda into t plus pi t naught plus phi t naught. So what are these, madam? How it is going to be defining the signal of us? We already decided that the signal is having three properties with it. What is that? It is having the amplitude, it is having the frequency, it is having the phase angle. So these three has to be included in this characteristic equation of a signal at a particular time of unit t, right? See how the amplitude has been given. Here the signal amplitude has been defined using a parameter called as S naught. S naught is nothing but the peak amplitude. Okay, this particular peak amplitude may vary from positive S naught to the negative S naught. That is positive side of the peak amplitude and negative side of the peak amplitude. The signal may be taking its positive and negative variations. So those values may be varying from S naught to the minus S naught. And how the frequency of the signal has been defined. Taking the sine version of the signal, it is going to be transmitted with a velocity of c. It is going to be transmitted with a velocity of c. Here it is being defined here. C by lambda. What is the lambda? Lambda is nothing but the wavelength of the signal. Already discussed in the previous session that the span of the cycle for a certain interval of time having both the positive and negative sides of it will be considered as the wavelength of the signal, right? That lambda indicates here the wavelength of the signal, right? T is nothing but at a particular time interval. And coming to the pi, this is nothing but the phase angle of the signal at a single unit of time in a span of a cycle. In a span of a cycle, what is the phase angle of the signal at a particular unit of time? See, somebody has given a message like they are having some network issues to get connected with the meeting and to left it. So please inform Prasad sir. Okay, message him that you have been logged out accidentally, right? So I'm going to continue the topic. This is the equation of a signal represented with like this. ST is nothing but S naught 2 pi into c by lambda into t plus phi t naught, right? Now, already I discussed about the signal equation and how the signal will be get represented, right? See, as we have been represented the signal properties at a particular interval of time, we'll also plot the signal in a time interval, right? For example, if you take a signal like this, what S naught, S of t is been given here, is equal to, so don't bother about the convention, S naught into, what is the equation? Sine of 2 pi, right? See, symbol will not insert here. 2 pi into what? C by lambda into T 2 pi into C by lambda into T plus phi into T naught, right? This particular thing. So how this S naught will be represented? S naught will be represented like this. Say this is our signal and S naught will be this value. Amplitude. On x-axis, we draw with the amplitude here, right? On y-axis, we're taking time, right? So this is t for a time unit. Right. For a time unit t, the signal is having it's a maximum amplitude of S naught value. It may be varying from positive S naught to minus S naught. Right. And as the signal is going to take in different directions, and its value or its wavelength and its angle has to be get identified. We are taking the sine angle of that. That is sine value of that. Sine value of 2 pi, as it is taking two values, 2 pi into C. C is nothing but what the C is being called here. What is C is? C is nothing but velocity of the signal. So C by lambda. Lambda is what? Lambda is nothing but wavelength. Wavelength of the signal. What is wavelength? Now we'll see. Wavelength is nothing but the total plot of the signal or the occupancy or area or the length of the signal for a particular time unit. The length of the signal for a particular time unit. The cycle span. How much of span it will take for a single cycle in a signal. That will be called as lambda here. That will be called as lambda. Both covering the positive and negative side of the signal. C is nothing but the velocity of signal. That is with how much of speed the signal or the cycle is being passing through a particular time interval. How much of speed the total cycle is going to pass through a single time interval, it will be called as the velocity, right? And coming to this, what is called as phi. Okay, phi symbol will be like this actually, right? What you have saw in the equation, phi. Phi is nothing but a phase angle of the signal. The angle at which it is changing the direction. The angle at which it is going to changing the direction is called as the particular phi value at a particular interval of time. Okay, at a particular interval of time, what could be its phase angle of a signal? The angle at which it is going to be changing the direction. It is going to changing the direction at this particular angle. This is phase of the signal here, from positive to the negative. And again, from the flat period at this phase, it is going to be taking the positive direction to the negative direction again. It is been slanting towards its value, it's been changing here, right? Here it is having certain phase angle. Say if it is the 30 degrees here, if it is the 30 degrees, then it could be at a perpendicular direction, it will be 90 degrees. So on the axis, it will be 180 degrees. As it is a flat one, it is taking 180 degrees. In the similar way, on the negative side, again it is will be minus 30 degrees, minus 90 degrees, and 180 degrees again here. So here how the signal properties are being varying. So signal is having an amplitude, right? A particular velocity, wavelength, and an angle at a particular interval of time. Here how the signal is being explained using an equation. So we've been defined with the three properties of the signal. So whenever a modulation of the signal will be considered, whenever a modulation of the signal will be considered, the modulation will be performed on these three properties, either on the amplitude, either on the frequency, either on the corresponding phase angle. Frequency, phase angle, and the particular amplitude. So how the frequency will be considered? Frequency is nothing but the total number of cycles that are being passed through a particular time unit. Frequency will be considered as how the particular number of cycles will be passed through a specific cycle of time. Right. Okay. So the frequency is nothing but that is here we can see that in the equation S of t, again if you see that S of t can be replaced with S naught sine, right, 2 pi. C by lambda can be replaced with F. So F is equal to C by lambda. That is frequency is nothing but its velocity by wavelength. With a particular wavelength, that is with a particular wavelength of a signal having certain velocity, how it is going to be traveling. That is nothing but the frequency of the signal. Frequency of the signal is nothing but frequency is being given as C by lambda. C by lambda, right? Frequency is being considered as the velocity by the wavelength of the signal. So here in the next form of the equation, in the S of t, again when defined by C by lambda can be replaced with the frequency also. That is sine 2 pi into frequency into time plus phi into t naught. So this particular signal having these particular properties will be superimposed onto the carrier signal, So how it could be changed, how it will be get arranged, how it could be modulated, so that the carrier signal is going to be changing its form according to our modulating signal, changing its form according to the modulating signal. See how this particular modulation will be happen. So we'll move to the PPT again. So this is the signal property, how it is when signal has been defined. So according to these properties, our modulation will be setting our carrier for a wireless transmission using either the peak amplitude or the frequency FC or phase angle pi c naught. So the carrier frequency, carrier amplitude or carrier phase angle varies according to the modulating signal. Here the modulating signal will be represented with Sm of t, whereas the carrier signal will be Sc. Sc will be represented with the, carrier signal will be represented with Sc, whereas modulating signal will be represented with Sm. According to the properties of Sm, that is S frequencies, S amplitudes, S phase angle, the carrier frequency Fc, Sc or the pi c will be changing over, right? The modulation of a signal will be, or a data signal will be done, or the modulation will be done by changing the carrier frequency, either the carrier amplitude or the carrier phase signal. So peak amplitude of the carrier signal will be considered as SE naught, frequency of the carrier signal will be considered as FC, phase angle of the carrier signal will be considered as pi c t naught. These three are going to be changed over the carrier frequency according to the modulating signal. So any one of the thing will be chosen, either the amplitude or the frequency or the phase angle of the modulating signal will be chosen in order to implement the modulation over the carrier frequency, right? So according to the parameter that we have chosen, if you have chosen the amplitude to be used, or amplitude is to be varied of the carrier signal according to the modulating signal, then that particular modulation will be called as amplitude modulation. That modulation will be called as amplitude modulation. Otherwise, if we choose the parameter frequency to be varied over the carrier signal according to the modulating signal, then it is called as frequency modulation. Otherwise, if the phase angle has been chosen to vary over the carrier frequency signal according to the modulating phase angle, modulating signal phase angle, then it is called as phase modulation, right? So as three parameters of the signal are being existing, any one of the parameter will be chosen, which is to be changed over the carrier signal, which is guided over our modulating signal to carry our signal or convey our signal from the transmitter to the receiver. So according to the parameter that we have chosen, that particular modulation technique will be named over. If the amplitude has been chosen from the modulating signal to modulate over the carrier frequency signal, it is called as amplitude modulation signal. Otherwise, if the frequency of the modulating signal has been chosen to modulate over or to vary over the carrier frequency or the frequency, carrier signal, then it is called as frequency modulation. Otherwise, if phase angle of the modulating signal is chosen to vary over the carrier signal, then it is called as phase modulation technique. So we are having the three modulation techniques: amplitude modulation, frequency modulation, and the phase modulation, right? So before going to that, we will see how our modulating signal will be superimposed on a modulation signal or the carrier signal. We will see how our modulating signal will be superimposed on the corresponding carrier signal, right? I'll illustrate you so that you can understand how the amplitude and the frequency and the phase are going to be varied on the carrier according to the modulating signal. Now we'll move again to the whiteboard. Carrier signal is C, S suffix C. Okay, so please don't bother about how the notation. So this is the carrier signal, and this carrier signal is having some amplitude of SAC. The carrier amplitude of SAC, and here minus SAC, right? And now coming to our modulating signal. See here, it is our modulating signal. That is our message signal, which we want to send from source to the destination, right? Our modulating signal, it is called as, now it is SM, right? Our modulating signal is SM. So it is having the amplitude of SAM here minus SAM. Now our aim is we are sending our signal, this signal with an amplitude of SAM and minus SAM to the destination without varying our amplitude. That is our intention, that is our target. Our signal is having the maximum amplitude of SAM, either on the positive side or on the negative side. We don't bother about the frequency through which you are giving. Whatever the available band of frequency, in that particular frequency, we are sending our signal with a particular amplitude. On the receiver side, the same signal has to be received by that particular user at the same amplitude level. The same SAM value and the same minus SAM value has to be received by the particular receiver, right? That is our target. But by traveling over different areas and different heights, our signal is going to be losing its amplitude, say. It is going to be changing its value. It may be getting down. The maximum SAM value is not going to be reaching by the destination. The maximum SAM value is not going to be reaching the destination. So what you are doing is, we are modulating our signal using some other signal called as carrier signal, which is nothing but a analog signal here. And we are superimposing our modulating signal onto the corresponding carrier signal. According to our parameter that we have chosen in the modulating signal, the carrier signal has to change its characteristics. It has to convey our signal holding over, and it has to send that particular signal to the receiver. So what is our amplitude? It is of SAM, right? Which is greater than the SAC, isn't it or not? Our SAM value, that is the modulating signal amplitude, is greater than the available carrier signal frequency, that is SAC. But if we are going to superimpose this particular signal onto this carrier signal, then the carrier signal will be changing its properties, which will be similar to our modulating signal, Now, what you are doing is, we are superimposing our modulating signal onto the carrier signal. How this modulation will be done, that is superimposing of our modulating signal onto the carrier, will be done. Now you'll see. See, what is the amplitude of, one second. Please unmute yourself. See, I am clear. I think I am clear that what is a carrier signal and what is a modulating signal, right? Please respond whether you are able to follow me or not,
Yes, ma'am.
right? So now this modulating signal has to be get superimposed on the carrier signal. I will show you how this modulating signal will be superimposed on the carrier signal so that the carrier is going to guiding our signal without deviation in our SAM value to reach the destination, right? So I'm erasing this particular thing. I will show you how the superimposition will be done now, right? I think I am clear about this carrier signal and the modulating signal, right? I'm going to erase this to show you the corresponding superimposition of the both the signals. Right. See, this is the amplitude of sorry. This is SAM, sorry, SAC, and this is SAM, right? In the similar way, it is minus SAC, and this is minus SA. This is how the signals will be superimposed on each other. This is how the signals will be superimposed on each other. See, this is the modulating signal having the higher amplitude here. So, right? This is the modulating signal, right? Whereas this is carrier signal. Right. This is the modulating signal and this is the carrier signal. Carrier signal is having the amplitude of SAC, which is smaller than the modulating signal, having a frequency of, has an amplitude of SAM. So the highest modulation is having the, the modulating signal is having the highest amplitude when compared to the carrier signal. Whenever we superimpose both the signals onto one each other, whenever we superimpose the signals onto one each other, then the carrier signal has to, change its characteristics according to the modulating signal. The carrier signal has to change its characteristics onto the modulating signal. Then this particular signal, the carrier signal will be changing, its value onto this curvature like this. That is, the single signal is going to be transmitting the multiple information. That is, two signals amplitude are going to be sent over on the same signal, right? Both will become the single signal now, holding the amplitude of the modulating signal. The carrier signal is going to be transmitting, holding the amplitude of the modulating signal. The carrier signal is going to be transmitting from the transmitter to the receiver. So whenever there is a chance of reducing the energy signal, or it is going to be bombarding any surfaces, then the carrier is going to be guiding or protecting or securing the actual value embedded on it. The carrier is going to be guiding or protecting the actual modulating values on it, which are being superimposed on it, and it is going to be guiding throughout the journey, and it is going to be seeing that its original values are going to be retaining until it reaches the destination, This is called as amplitude modulation. As you are taking the amplitude as a parameter and you are superimposing our modulating signal frequency, amplitude onto the carrier amplitude. We are superimposing modulating signal amplitude onto the carrier signal amplitude. It is been changing its property. According to the property of the modulating signal. As you are changing the property of the amplitude here, this modulation is called as the amplitude modulation. In the similar way, the frequencies and the phase signals also will be followed. In the similar way, the frequencies and the phase signals of the signals will be followed in order to convey our modulating signal, guiding them, protecting them to the destination without losing any single bit of data. This is about the modulation of the signal, and I have explained you regarding the amplitude modulation. I think I am clear that how the carrier signal is conveying and holding our modulating signal in order to protect it without losing its property. Until it reaches the destination. And at the destination, in order to separate these two things, why? Because we are having the two signals. These two signals holding on a single signal itself, we are sending from source to the destination. But at destination side, whenever it is being received, it has to separate those things. Two amplitudes are available. One is the carrier amplitude, another one is the modulation amplitude. That particular modulating signal amplitude is required by the user. That particular modulating signal has to be dumped. It is to be separated from the carrier, and it is to be used by the user there on his mobile. So at that moment, there you are going to use you are going to implementing the demodulation procedure. On the receiver side mobile or receiver side communication point, whatever may be the modulating signal that we have been received along with the carrier, which is conveying or carrying our signal to retain its property, we are demodulating on the receiver side. There we are separating this carrier and modulating signal separately, and you are using exclusively modulating signal on the receiver side. This is how the modulation will be done, and signal strength will be get boosted up, and it will be conveyed to the receiver with the help of the carrier. And at the carrier, receiver side, this carrier and the modulating signal will be separated, and only our our modulation signal will be get received on the receiver side. Only modulating signal will be get received on the receiver side. So this is about the amplitude modulation, what we have discussed. In the next class, we will discuss what is the frequency modulation and phase modulation, what are all the variations are there, how the digital modulation has been introduced in this particular analog modulation. After the analog modulation, what is the digital modulation, how the digital signals will be transmitted and radiated, how the digital variations are available, different variations are available, what happens in GSM, what happens in CDMA, and what are all the other modulation techniques, what happens in sharing multiple signals in the single spectrum, how multiple number of signals will be shared. In the single carrier, you are sending only a single signal here, single modulating signal. Other than that, in different accessing methods and the modulation methods, we are also having the possibility that using the multiplexing technique in a single spectrum of the signal, single carrier itself is going to carry multiple signals along with it. We'll see in the next class how it happens and all those things. So with this, I am ending the session. Please do everybody join in the Edmodo group. I have given a quiz for you, answer it, and it is going to be expiring tomorrow night by 9 p.m. It is going to be expiring by tomorrow 9 p.m. It's going to be locked after that 9. It will not be open. Before that, everybody answer it, right? So I'm ending the session now. I think go through all these topics. It will be somewhat difficult for you to understand, as it is a electronics concept. But no, it is required and it's necessary to know about these fundamentals in order to get into the mobile computing environment. Okay, so go through that, refer every day in order to not get confused with the topics, and to get aware about these fundamentals, to know about the further topics. Okay, with this, I'm leaving the session. Get ready for the next session. Thank you.